And he's got this high approval rating. So why don't I have a high approval rating with respect, and the administration, with respect to the virus? So it sort of is curious. A man works for us, with us very closely, Dr. Fauci, and Dr. Birx, also highly thought of. And yet they're highly thought of, but nobody likes me. It can only be my personality, that's all.
I think there are two dynamics happening. So the first is the American public perceiving these elected officials as being as concerned as they are? So every time we poll about this, whether it's about the economic effects of COVID or the health effects of COVID, there's really large numbers of Americans who say they are concerned about this. So I think one of the first signs that people are looking for is, are these elected officials looking as concerned as I am? And in some states, right, they feel that people have responded properly, and in other places they don't. And the same thing is true with the president, right? You had this approval rating that was pretty high at the start on COVID-19. It's been a really dramatic drop in the last couple of months, as I think it has become clear to the American public that maybe the administration is not taking this as seriously as they are. I think the other thing that people are responding to, so the second piece of this, is the number of cases and deaths that are, again, we're hitting a second wave here, and they're starting to rise, right? So people they're aware of what's happening on the ground in their own state. So beyond just whether they're seeing people respond to this, they're actually judging them on the numbers. They're seeing these businesses start to reclose. They're seeing, whether it's sports or schools or whatever, kind of have to continue to be closed. And so they're responding to these real events on the ground. And what we're seeing in places like Arizona and Texas and Florida is that you've had the approval ratings of these governors drop really dramatically over the course of just even the last couple of months and even the last couple of weeks as cases there have climbed. Now, in terms of what might happen in 2020, there's this great study by Lynn Vavreck and Chris Warshaw using some of the data that we collected that suggests that even the number of deaths in these places are starting to affect how people are thinking about voting in the 2020 election, right? So that people aren't just responding to this and having a slightly more negative opinion. This is actually changing how they're deciding to vote on a county by county basis. This is a story that's going to really impact the 2020 election. And it's going to impact the fortunes of these elected officials, just whether they're seen as having responded appropriately to the pandemic here in the United States.